Lainey,
Yes.
what do you think when I show you this?
I didn't even know until I looked at the thing the first like 10 minutes before we got on. So
Yes.
I now have to look this up. However, that is interesting that they're looking like this because those are iconic looks, especially hers. That I want to say has not been in another Zelda game. So
So
if she's looking like that, then that means they're trying to adapt Breath of the Wild, and it makes kind of sense even looking at the background because that feels more of a Breath of the Wild landscape than any of the other ones.
So for those who are either watching or listening, I just showed Laney some live action screenshots of the new Legend of Zelda film that's currently being filmed right now.
I didn't even know that they existed until literally 10 minutes before we got on.
It like so
Hmm.
Link and Zelda, which are portrayed by Benjamin Evan Ainsworth, who you probably seen in The Haunting of Bly Manor, and Bo Bragginson from Renegade Nell. That's currently on Prime, I want to say. Respectively, at the moment, the studio hasn't revealed any movies, full cast, and synopsis yet. So, like, it's still like peppers.
Mm-hmm.
They're just peppering. It's holiday. We're going into the holiday season, and me and Spartan talked about this. We are rolling dice on who's going to be revealing something by
That's
by December. By December,
only
and
because
all bets are on Super Bowl being first reveals for Avengers Doomsday.
Oh
it
yeah,
makes sense.
for sure.
I mean, it makes sense that it makes sense as your biggest crowd for those that follow sports and just watch it for the commercials. It makes sense that your biggest crowd is going to be paying attention at the end of February. So why not take the shot there? And of course, there we probably will also get something because it is the holidays. Um, and plus, if it's not going to be in the Video Game Awards in December, it's going to be something toward the holidays because Disney's not going to let a wonderful advertising spot go out the window, not during the holidays.
If they're smart, because lately they've been kind of lazy with their advertising.
Oh, ask Wonder Man.
It, I don't. I don't
And
know.
Moana.
I feel like they're probably cheaper for them to just put it up on streaming. That's what they've done the last couple of years. They'll throw it up on streaming first and then
Hmm.
throw it out to the rest
I
of the
think
world.
I think the past 2 years, I mean, with a lot of studios, I think the past 2 years they've shied away from doing like any full trailers.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 years full trailers for Super Bowl Sunday, and just they will show you like quick second clips and say, watch full trailer online.
Mm-hmm.
They did it with Deadpool and Wolverine. They did it with Superman. They've done it with it was one other product. Like they took their and those are the major ones. They were just like watch it online.
What, Lainey,
Yeah.
for those of us that are not deep in the Zelda lore, when does Breath of the Wild take place? Because all I know is the first Zelda game on the original Nintendo series.
So don't get me lying. Because first of all, they have three different timelines.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of breaks off at where Ocarina of Time happens because you have time travel and then it breaks off into three. And then that's where you have other games that supposedly are within those three branches. Like you have
Mm-hmm.
when Link gets defeated as a kid, you have Link, I believe, gets defeated as an adult, and then you have Link not getting defeated. He defeats Ganon. And then you have different games that are following after those.
Yep.
Um so I want to say, and I know Tafari probably knows as well, so please correct me if I'm wrong. I want to say actually Breath of the Wild it's different timeline period, and especially because it has Tears of the Kingdom and it also has those intermediate games as well. So I feel like it's you know
Yeah, so this
something.
Breath of the Wild is after everything. There's like this big ass gap in the timeline where nothing is explained, and it's just Breath of the Wild,
And then Tears
Tears
of
of
the
the
Kingdom.
Kingdom.
Yep.
Kingdom.
But we're not. We know that they are the latest incarnation and possibly the only latest. They for the timelines may have reconnected and gone back into one, but this
Also,
right
they
now is it's its own thing, and we don't know where it came
There you go.
from. We just know this
Yeah.
is where we're at versus Ocarina, which splinters off this way into Wind Waker or splinters off this way into Twilight.
mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, because
So,
Ocarina
so
of Time was the nexus point.
It's
Yep.
two different timelines. Like they don't.
Yeah.
They're two different timelines.
So yeah, that's what. So think of Ocarina of Time as if the break in the universe, where it just basically splits.
Yep.
So I wonder if this was one of those things where they said we would love this will be great as a series or a movie, but where do we start? Like literally, like where do we start?
Me personally, this would have been a better as a series. They just should have gave it to Amazon and let Amazon rock hard with it, because I think that as you've seen with Wheel of Time, as you've seen with Rings of Power, they do really good work in that kind of field. And I think that Legend of Zelda would have been perfect to be adapted as a series. You could have gone a lot of different routes and just even doing backstories to Zelda herself and developing her as a character, developing Link as even a character later. You can go with Zelda's whole backstory or create a backstory for season 1 and then bring in Link for season 2.
So I think it's safe to say that franchises do much better as a series opposed to standalone films or standalone franchises like one shots or whatever. Like you can, like Splinter Cell. Splinter Cell is a perfect example. You can do Splinter Cell and kind of go anywhere with it, which I still haven't watched that anime.
Death Watch was good. We need another game.
Okay.
The anime,
okay, so like you could take Splinter Cell, like James Bond. You can get away with doing a standalone James Bond film, continuing and making its own franchise, but you can get away with telling a different story every time, unless you're doing Daniel Craig's run, which some things do tie back to beginning things, but it's still standalone stories.
Skyfall could have been better, but that's
that's true.
I think this one gives them the freedom to kind of not have to build too much backstory. Literally, all you need is Skyward Sword. Like, hey, a bunch of people fought like thousands of years ago and are cursed to reincarnate and clash every time they're reborn, and then everything you kind of skip ahead. I wanted it to be Ocarina, but I feel like that maybe gives them too much homework, because then you kind of got to make a decision on which of the 3 splits you're going to do after, or potentially make sequels out of all of them. Because all the other games, like before Ocarina, are technically like if you end up getting killed or lose, whereas the big 3, which is Wind Waker, Ocarina, and Twilight, along with some of the spinoffs, are all if he wins and at which timeline you end up staying in. But to Landy's point, I think Zelda's backstory is kind of what they're doing with this whole Age of Imprisonment thing that I didn't play.
Sony's producing it.
Yeah, well, apparently we're finding out now the ancient Hyrule people were all black, and they're trying to figure out what the hell happened to make Zelda a blonde-haired, blue-eyed woman.
Oh, for real?
I've been seeing the memes, just like, so how many generations before we end up like you? So
that's the rumor.
Normally, it's the other way around.
I have not had. I bought it. I made sure I have it, but I have not had time.
I don't get the time travel shenanigans. I don't know what's real and what's not. I just seen all the jokes, and I'm like, all right, I'll take it if this is real.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, I'm sorry, let me leave that alone. Especially
here we go.
Let me leave that alone.